Hey guys, I just wanted to do a comparison between the Leupold Mark IV 6 to 24 with the 52mm objective lens. I did get the PR3 reticle on the Leupold Mark IV, and then I just want to compare it with the Leupold Mark V. And this is the 5 to 25 uh, and 56mm objective lens, and this one has the PR2 reticle. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so I'm going to be going back and forth between these two, just comparing it as far as the specs, and also I did some tracking tests on these two and some low light condition testing, whatever you call it, at sunset, around sunset. So I just want to share with you guys just my observations, and yeah, so first off, let's start with the MSRP for the Leupold Mark V. So the MSRP that you're going to be getting, these four, is around 2,200. Street pricing maybe like 2,000-ish. So that's for the Leupold Mark V. For the Leupold Mark IV, the MSRP is around 1,500. You could probably find it for 13 or 1,400 street pricing. So also with the, I just want to show you guys what the PR3 reticle looks like on the Leupold Mark IV. They don't offer the PR3 reticle on the Leupold Mark V. I wish they did, because I really like the PR3 reticle. So if you guys take a look, the PR3 reticle is pretty much similar to the PR2 reticle minus the Christmas tree. So you're still getting the quarter mil hash marks. That's very famous and a lot of people like, including myself. And if you look at the PR2, which you guys probably know what it looks like already, it's the Christmas tree reticle. And nowadays I don't really hold over that much, if at all. I rarely do it, so I do like the non-Christmas tree reticle on the Leupold Mark IV. I wish they offered that same reticle on the Leupold Mark V. The Leupold Mark V is 30 ounces and the total length is 15.7 inches, whereas the Leupold Mark IV is 27.5 ounces and the total length is 14.6 inches. So this one is a little bit shorter by an inch and a little bit lighter than the Leupold Mark V. The Leupold Mark IV is lighter. And for the Leupold Mark V, you're getting 35 mils of elevation total, but with the Leupold Mark IV, you're getting 36. So you're getting 1 more mils of elevation total than you are with the Mark V, which is surprising for me, because with a 34mm tube, it's smaller than a 35mm tube. So I'm not sure what they did. Maybe the thickness of the tube is smaller on the Mark IV compared to the Mark V, and you know, that probably plays into being able to have more elevation wise. So anyways, I don't know the exact reason. I'm not an optical engineer, but it's surprising that this one has more elevation. The Mark IV has more elevation than the Leupold Mark V, and so yeah, that's kind of interesting. For as far as eye relief on the Leupold Mark V, you're getting 3.6 to 3.8 inches, versus the Leupold Mark IV, you're getting 3.8 to 4.0 inches, so a little bit more than the Mark V. So you're getting a little bit better eye relief with the Mark IV. And also the minimum parallax that you can get to with the Leupold Mark IV is 25 yards, whereas with the Leupold Mark V, it's 50 yards, which, to be honest, is not a big deal. Most of the matches, at least the matches that we shoot, like, you're not really shooting at 25 yards. You do want to zero at 50 yards though. So, but most of the matches, I think nowadays, maybe a few years ago, like, a lot of people shot at 25 yards, but I don't think we do that as much. At least not where we're like, not like the matches I've shot over here. Most of it is beyond 60 yards. So for me, having the 25-yard parallax might be a plus, but it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker. So I just want to show you guys the field of view for start with the Leupold Mark IV. Well, the Leupold Mark IV has a field of view of at 20 power. I compared both of these at 20 power. It's 18 mils in diameter versus the field of view on the Mark V is actually the same thing. They have the same field of view at 20 power. So yeah, let's go to the let's talk about the turrets and just kind of what you're getting with the Leupold Mark IV compared to the Mark V and vice versa. So this is what the clicks sound like. And then this is the elevation for the Mark V. So you're getting a more audible sound. And I think it feels more tactile than the Leupold Mark IV. So the Mark V feels a little bit better and sounds better. And then here's the windage. Here's the windage for the Mark IV. So it's a little bit more quiet. So yeah, you're getting a little bit better of as far as clicks on the Leupold Mark V. And here's the parallax knob, which is smooth. The Mark V is a little bit smoother. And then the stiffness on the Mark IV is about the same stiffness as the Mark V. Probably just needs to be broken in. Both of these scopes are new. So I just need to probably break in those magnification knobs. And as far as the turrets, for each full mil of that you go with the Mark V, you're getting 10.5 mils, versus with the Mark IV, you're getting 10 mils. So that's more traditional, probably, for a lot of you guys. Probably my biggest complaint, though, on the Mark IV is if you're in this perspective, this is from the shooter's perspective, it's kind of hard to tell where you're at in your elevation compared to where the marker is telling you. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. It's a little bit easier on the Mark V, but you can solve that problem by putting turret tapes. Like for the Mark V, I have an IDTS turret tape where you can line up your arrows wherever you want. So I did buy some IDTS turret tape for this, which is coming in the mail soon. And I'm just gonna line it up and customize my own dial to see, to where I want it to line up. And then for the Mark IV, they did away with, so for the Mark V, the marker is up here, about a 45-degree angle up here, instead of, but for the Mark IV, they put it back where it traditionally is with most scopes, which is going to be over here. A lot of people were complaining, I guess, about having the windage up here. For me, I think I like it up here better. I think it's easier to see versus over here. So, but, no big deal. Let's talk about the full rev indicators. You do have, for both of these, you do have a zero stop where it locks at your zero, but once you come out of your zero, then you don't have to unlock it. I do like that. I don't mind it. I'm glad that you don't have to unlock it by pulling it up like you do with other scopes. So you do have two indicators. So let's go full rev. Once you go full rev, this is going to go in. And then if you go another full rev, then the indicator is going to go up. That means you're two full revs. So let's go back down to zero. If you go back down to zero, it's going to lock. But with the Mark IV, you only have one indicator. You don't have one on top. You just have this part right here, which functions the same as the Mark V. So here's a full rev. It's going to go in. And then if you do two full revs, it's going to go back in, or it's going to go in a little bit more. And if you go back down to zero, it's going to lock. And then the cool thing about also the Mark IV is that you already have a knob, and it's also locking, versus with the Mark V, this comes with originally with a capped elevation, and you have to purchase, if you do want to have like a normal elevation knob, you do have to purchase it from a place like DI Precision, which is awesome. I love them. Shout out to David and Derek for making these. But with the Mark IV, it's all ready to go. You don't have to purchase a third-party windage knob, which is super nice. So both of these scopes, I did a tracking test today, they track 100%, which is what you would expect if you're paying $1,000 or more for a scope. The probably the biggest thing that probably shouldn't worry about it, to be honest, but for the Mark IV, once you dial 10 mils of elevation, it does have a 0.2 shift in your windage, which, to be honest, it's not a big deal in my opinion, because if you're dialing that much, you got bigger fish to fry than 0.2 mils, because the wind and that distance is going to play a major factor versus the shift, the 0.2 shift. So I think that's 0.2 shift is probably negligible in my opinion. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. For me, that's not a big deal. Even though it would be nice for it to only be 0.1 or 0. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to send this in for them to fix that. I think I could live with that. Versus with the Leupold Mark V, once you dial 10 full mils, you're getting only a 0.1 shift in your windage, which is nice. And that's very negligible, to be honest. Again, if you're shooting at that distance, you're far more worried about the wind and spin drift than you are with the 0.1 shift that you're going to get with your windage dialing that much. So so that's not a big deal for me, but they both do track 100%. So, you know, you can be confident running either one of these as far as tracking wise. And I want to show you guys some of the low light performance that you could get with these two. I did these videos 10 minutes before sunset, at sunset, and 10 minutes after sunset. So let's start off with 10 minutes before sunset. Alright, so as you guys can see, or maybe it was probably hard to see in the video, but looking with my own eyes, the 56mm objective lens versus the 52mm objective lens outperformed the Mark V outperformed the Mark IV, not by much to be honest, but I could see a little bit better in low light conditions with the Mark V than I would with the Leupold Mark IV, which you would expect with a more expensive scope with the 56mm objective lens. So no surprise there. And but you're getting pretty good, decent low light performance with both of these scopes. If you're going to ask me if I had to choose either one, obviously I would probably choose the Mark V, and that's what I'm running primarily on my 22. And I plan on putting this one on my CZ, and but I would still feel very confident if I'm trying to win a match. If I'm running a Mark IV, I would still feel very confident with running this. I have a buddy named Lorenzo who wins a lot in this area, and he's running a Mark IV, and he's doing a really good job. So the scope is definitely not hindering him from winning matches. So you're getting a good quality scope with the Mark IV and with the Mark V as well, but this one is $700 cheaper. So yeah, if you're stepping up from like a beginner scope and you wanted to step up into something probably a little bit better that you may end up running forever, probably, you know, you could do a Leupold Mark IV and then maybe eventually upgrade to a Mark V. But I mean, either one of these scopes, you could win matches with it, and I really like the Leupold line. So All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful, and you guys have a good one.